All right, what's going on, everyone? We are at another Saturday. Congratulations, we have survived. We have made it to the weekend. I hope you guys have got some great plans, some great activities going on. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know that you're here and want to hang out for a little bit. This is my weekend thoughts and updates as far as the writing and what's going on. So first things first, I want to give a shout out to my new patrons. Those who have joined me over on Patreon, you guys, it's been overwhelming. It's been very humbling. I feel honored for the few people that have joined us, as I like to say, in the dying breeds. So we have Warrior Bernard, also known as Panda Cakes. We've got Fighter Maxwell and Fighter Foster. And of course, Mom's coming in saying hi. Hello, Mom. Nice to see you. All right, well, let's get into some updates. So updates for this week, Project Kepler. Now, this is the project that I'm co-authoring with Ryan Maxwell. It is a lit RPG. It's going well. We're just about 20,000 words. We're getting into the book. And as I've mentioned before, this is a project that we're hoping is going to be all ages, something that you can give to, 11, 12, 13-year-old to enjoy, someone who's in their 30s and beyond that can pick it up and enjoy. So the project is going well, but we're kind of looking at seeing where it's going to be at 50,000 words. So obviously it'll be more tailored to the teen audience, but it is something that hopefully an adult can pick up. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been an interesting journey as an author to see, especially co-authoring, because you have two people writing. Sometimes we've written at the same time. So getting to step away from the manuscript and then come back in and see things, it's been interesting. But it's still going. For those in the Patreon group, more than likely you guys will get early access before anyone else. Once Ryan and I feel like the manuscript is good to release there. So there's that. All right, book 3. Oh, there he is. Ryan Maxwell. What's up, brother? Dude, it is great to see you. Thanks for joining us on the weekend updates and thoughts. Some good stuff, man. There's some good stuff this week, I think. Okay, book 3 of the Dying Breed series that is known as the Dying Breed Enslavement. Going through 100 pages on this revision, wanting to make sure I add the changes that the development editors recommended I make. And what's been really interesting is I finished. So I made the development edit on the 23rd of January. So now here we are, almost 7 months has passed since I've looked at this manuscript. And it's been really interesting to just see how much I've grown in my writing. That I started to pick up on things, and I'll show you guys here. So just, as I've gone through, let's see, get in focus. There we go. You can see all the notes that I have here in pen, and this is one of the reasons why I love having the physical manuscript so that I can actually sit down, really read it, dive into it as if it was really a book, but then, started to realize all of the different things that I needed to change before it ever goes to Catherine. So it's really been great to see my development over time. And with that, so I'm hoping to have this completely redone on my read through by the end of next week and have all of those changes updated, hopefully in the week after that. So what that means is obviously all of those changes will be done and updated to the Patreon. So if you guys do join us there, if you have not started on book 3, reading it in there, hopefully those changes will be added and updated for you guys so that when you get to it, you get the most recent updates. So there's that. Call Sign Bloodbath, which is my first official lit RPG, or lit FPS, as some people like to call it, because it is a first-person shooter / assassination. That book is up in the Patreon now. The chapters are being released. I'm doing about 3 chapters a day released into Patreon, just because we're looking to officially publish that online as a free web novel, hopefully this Wednesday. So I will be releasing it on Royal Road. And the way that works is when you start your new fiction, it normally takes 48 hours for the team there to review it and get it released. So Monday, I will start uploading those chapters and get them ready for the Wednesday release. What you guys can expect if you want to read it there for free is on Wednesday when it drops, it should be the first 26,000 words. So the prologue all the way up to chapter 6, I believe, will be released there. And then you'll get a new chapter every day after. Hey, it is Erica. What is going on? It is so exciting. Thank you so much. I am super excited for it. I definitely am. And I guess we'll talk about that here in a minute with some more of my thoughts. But yeah, it's really good. So yeah, so we're going to look for a Wednesday release, and I'm excited for that. So let's see. Any other updates? No updates on the audiobook. It is still in works for the Dying Breed Hunters, which I know Erica is really waiting on that to be released. I think all of us are at this point, right? But we're still working on that. Let's see. What other updates do we have? That's about it. That's about it for the writing updates. I do have a side story in the works. It's a side story within the Dying Breed series. It's a side story. Erica, all good things take time. Absolutely. You are 100% accurate on that. And that's something that I think we're going to touch on here in a minute with the thoughts that came up this week. But yeah, so there's a side story. It's going to be a side story of Golgoth, and it was inspired by this documentary that I watched this previous week. So I've already storyboarded it. What I'm doing now is as I go through book 3 and do the revisions, do the edits, I'm getting my mind back in the world. I'm getting my mind back into that writing style because it's very different than Call Sign Bloodbath. So my goal is do all the edits of book 3. I'm then going to write this side story. I'll throw it in the manuscript as bonus content. So Catherine will go ahead and edit it. But more than likely what I'm going to do is I'll keep it as bonus content in book 3, but I'll also release that as a free ebook on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited, just to try to gain some more, readership, views, things of that nature. But of course, it will also be on the Patreon. But I'm excited for that. So hopefully that'll be doing some writing there as well. Okay, so Call Sign Bloodbath. I was working on it this last week, and I finally got to this frustration point that I think all authors understand, where I was sick of it. I was tired of it. It's almost like I didn't believe in the story anymore because I just didn't want to touch it. And I reached out to a good friend, fellow author, who's actually been on one of the streams before. And I just said, dude, I'm sick of this thing. And I just vented for a good 2 minutes. And he messaged back and he said, you know what, TJ, that's how you know you're a writer. That's how you know you're an author. And the thing is you may feel like the story is terrible. You may feel like you get to this point that it's not worth it or whatnot. But you don't, you need to let the readers decide, because there's going to be readers who are going to love the story. There's going to be readers that may not like the story at all. But you put in the time and energy into this and you want it to be great, but you're also at the point where now you need to let it go. Now you need to get it out there and let the readers experience the story and experience the world that you've built. And so that was obviously really encouraging. And it was really motivating because, you know, he also said, I've been there. I've been exactly at that point. And what was even more refreshing was he said he had the same emotional feelings when it came to his third book in his series. And he said, you know, I put this book out there. I thought it was the worst one in the entire series, and that it was some of my worst writing that I had done yet. And yet it's been the most successful out of all of the books that I've written so far. And readers just absolutely loved it. And so it's just one of those weird things where sometimes when you're writing and sometimes when you're going through the process, you don't know what it is, but for you, it may be the worst thing you feel like you've written. For someone else, it's the best thing that they've ever, you know, ingested. And so that was really encouraging, because it was just, you know, the next day after that, when I found this quote that was said, and it was, one of the hardest things to hear after you don't get your way is keep working. But it's one of the only ways to be successful. You're not going to get your way most times in your life, so just keep working. Hard work pays off, but you don't know when the payoff is going to arrive, so just keep working. So let me reread that again for you guys. One of the hardest things to hear after you don't get your way or don't get that desire that you're going for is someone to tell you, keep working. But it's one of the only ways that you'll be successful. You're not going to get your way most of the time in your life, so you just have to keep working. Hard work pays off, but you don't know when the payoff is going to arrive, so just keep working. And that was, you know, getting to talk to my fellow author friend, getting his reassurance, then finding that. And then we get to move on to some shout outs, where I had a shout out to Miss Miranda, who is one of my new supporters and followers over on TikTok that I found. And then we have Warrior Bernard, who's a part of, that way, there, that guy, you know, who's a part of the Patreon. Because both of those individuals in this last week have posted comments on their social media or uploaded videos and tagged me and said, oh my gosh, you know, like their whole week was made because they got The Dying Breed book 1 and 2. They started to ingest the material. And, you know, with Bernard, he just said, dude, my love for reading is coming back to me. I'm loving this world. I'm loving everything you're doing. And then with Miranda, she was just so ecstatic because one of my other Patreons, when I said, hey, I'm going to put the book in the mail to you, they said, you know what, dude, I've already got the book. Give it to someone else. So we were able to surprise her and gift her with book 2. And it just made her day. And so, you know, those two things happened after I talked to my fellow author, after I found that quote. And I had to remind myself of all the times that I wanted to quit when I first started out. In those first 6 months when I was writing book 1's manuscript, and I was like, this isn't worth it. Why am I putting in all these hours? Why am I dedicating all this time? This is not worth it. Actually, 10 months, I guess you could say, because I storyboarded and then I wrote for 6 months. So 10 months of a process. What is this worth it? And then you have to go through the imposter syndrome of, oh man, I'm not really a writer. I'm not really an author. I'm not really going to make a difference in this world. And then all of a sudden, you now have someone who is coming and telling you, dude, I'm loving this world. I am finding the joy of reading again. When you go through those times of doubt, you just have to keep working. You may not feel like you're having success. You may not feel like you're getting the traction you want, but you have to keep working. You have to keep going, because then all of a sudden you're going to have that one person that comes along and says, dude, thank you so much for doing this. Hey, thank you so much for putting all the time and effort into this project, because now I am excited. I can't wait to dive into it. Mom, that is excellent. Thank you, Mom. I try. I had some pretty decent upbringing, I will say so myself. Ryan, literally one of the hardest things to do. Working in a book can become such a drag, but we do it because we become desperate for people to get to experience a world we have fallen in love with. Well, yeah, right? I'm really thinking about this, Ryan. It's such a mental exhaustion, right? You're pouring in energy and emotion and an investment, and now you're just like, oh, what is it worth? And you just have to go there. You just don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the process. Again, like it said, you just have to work, keep working. It doesn't say you're going to get success right away. We see people who, have this success instantly blow up, and they're just like, boom, they're in the spotlight. They're on the grand stage. Everyone is like noticing them. Why am I not on the stage? Why is no one just keep working? 2 years go by, someone else blows up. What? But I've been at this now for 3 years. Just keep working. You never know when your time is going to come, but that doesn't mean that we stop, because it should be from the love of our hearts of wanting to put this work out there. That's been something that I've really reflected on this last week. And I found it interesting too, because, this country artist who put out his song, Rich Men Above Richmond or whatever, he just posted the other day how he had music execs stunned when they were offering him $8 million deals. And he just said, nope, I don't want it. Thank you. I don't want to be on a tour bus. I don't want all this thing. I don't want to be in the spotlight. I wrote the song because I was dealing with mental health and depression issues. And that says a lot too. So good on him, man. Like, at the end of the day, no one would blame him for taking the deal and going on and doing this full time. But at the end of the day, he's like, nope, I'm still going to be myself. I'm still going to be me. And that's going to lead into my next thought. Lucas. Man, this world is literally one of my favorites. The detail and thought into every mountain range or body of water is just unmatched, and it really shows in the story itself. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. Erica, but how else are you doing, or how else are you going to share the world you've created? Creatives are compelled to create. Absolutely. And that's where, so another shout out, John A. Douglas, who's got a YouTube channel. He just did an interview last night with a husband and wife couple who have been writing for 35 years. It's a long interview, but man, it's such good content. Such a great interview. I would definitely say go check that out and want to highlight him, because that's exactly it. Where in the interview, the couple, I mean, they're in their senior years, they've been at this for 35 years. And they just said, you know what, if you have to take a side job to pay the bills, don't apologize to anyone, because you need to survive, but don't you dare give up on building the worlds you want to build. Don't give up on writing. Don't give up on storytelling. And just because you are not published does not mean you're not a writer. And of course, you have a couple who have published over 100 items, whether it be short stories, newspaper articles, or books. And yet, hey, we're writers, we're published, but guess what? Even if you haven't published a work and all of your stuff is just saved on your desktop and only you have read it, you're still a writer, because you're still building a world. And sometimes it just takes time for us to share it with others. So don't stop creating. Don't stop the process. Because again, if I had stopped a year and a half ago thinking it was a worthless endeavor, those people may not have gotten to enjoy the world. So, and thankfully, Lucas, this guy, he was the one dude that had faith in me. He was the one dude that pushed me and said, dude, this is good. Do not stop. Don't you dare stop. So, if you have someone in your corner to support you, just, lean on them when you don't have faith in yourself, because that means a lot. All right. So now I was having a conversation 2 nights ago. Chief Shoals. There's people that in the military, we have a pay grade, right? E1 through E9 on the enlisted side, O1 through O10, O9 on the officer side. So sometimes we would say, oh man, that guy's just they're just a E9 or they're just a E7. They're in it for the paycheck. They're not in it for the responsibility or what the position means. And so for Chief Shoals, he's an E9. He's a Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. He's earned the right to be called Chief. And so I hadn't talked to him in a while. I called him up. I said, hey, Chief, I'm thinking about you. What you doing, man? And so we started to catch up. And he asked me, hey, how are the books coming? Because again, I was writing when I was in the service. So I was telling people, oh yeah, I'm going to write some books, da, 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 da. So of course he's like, hey, my position was first sergeant. So he's also a nickname of Shirt. And so it meant a lot when he's like, well, Shirt, how's the book stuff going? And I said, well, here's where we're at. Here's what's going on. Here's the updates, da, da, da. And so then he asked me, TJ, how are you going to handle success when it comes? Not if it comes, but when it comes. How are you going to handle success? And I said, that's one of the things where I keep in the forefront of my mind because I never want to lose my genuineness. I never want to lose who I am. And I've talked to this. I've said it to the author who I talked to earlier this week. I've said it to about 2 or 3 other people, mostly in private. But I said, I don't want to make a lot of money because I've seen money corrupt people and I've seen them change people. So if I can make enough money to support myself and do this full time, then that's the blessing. But I don't want to make a lot of money to where I lose the genuineness of who I am. So hopefully, Chief, as he asked me, hopefully I don't lose who I am in the process and I can still be the same genuine person to everyone. And I hope that every single reader understands how much I appreciate them, So yeah, that was Richie. I'm sorry I'm so late. It's okay, man. There's times where we all need a little grace and mercy. So it's okay. I forgive you. Because that was the next thing I was going to mention. So we talked about John A. Douglas. You guys definitely need to go check out that interview he did last night. He's got really a lot of great content. Just hit 900 subscribers on his YouTube channel. So congrats to you, John. But then Richie, Stats on Stats on his Twitter account. You guys need to go follow Stats on Stats because they're doing a lot of giveaways. And I was blessed that I just got a free audiobook yesterday from what I just started listening to it. The Guy Who Accidentally Started the Apocalypse by David Bushman. So yeah, I totally want a free audiobook. I started listening to it. Richie has got some really cool stuff coming up. He's got a lot of giveaways coming up from all types of different authors within the Lit RPG space. So you guys go over there, follow that guy, give him some love, and get some free stuff. Get some free books, man. Like, you can't go wrong with that. Ryan, I want to make a lot of money, but I want to do it in like the lottery or something, not writing. That way I don't lose the joy. That's fair. That is really fair. You know what though? So actually tomorrow, our interview, you guys need to tune in. We've got Christopher Mix. I've got his 2 books over on the bookshelf. Christopher Mix is coming in, and I'm really looking forward to the interview tomorrow because he's a full-time live video game streamer. And so I'm super excited to dive into the details of like, what's it like to live stream all day? Because I remember as a kid playing video games, and I loved video games. I dove into them, but I was like, oh, I want to be a video game tester, right? I want to test video games and just play video games all day long. And then I found out there's a lot of writing that you have to do as a video game tester. And I was like, oh, I don't want to write. I hate writing. Legit. That was my attitude. I gave up on that dream a long time ago. Now look at where I am. But I'm really curious to find out what it's like to be a video game streamer who does it as a living, because do you still have the joy of playing video games? Do you get exhausted from that? I think in everything in life, you can lose the joy easy. And so that's where I think you need to have balance, and you need to be able to, know, because even those who aren't necessarily successful in writing, they're writing. They're pushing themselves to the point where they get exhausted and they've lost the joy in it. So I think it's really about balance. I don't think it's necessarily the craft per se. I think it's anything, right? Team Artem, hashtag the Son of Sin. Let's go, dude. I really enjoyed the Son of Sin, that first book. I went and saw him in person in July. Got both books for a friend because Bookmas 2023. Don't let me forget about that. But yeah, I got book 2. I'm super excited to dive into that. Chris is a gem. That man, if you guys have never met him in person, he is like a real life Viking. I just want to give him in battle axe and let him run through Walmart. Okay, maybe not, real world, but still. Maybe cosplay axe. There we go. Let's not get banned. I always hated reading out loud because of my stutter and dyslexia. Now I'm producing my first audiobook. Exactly. And dude, honestly, I still read out loud because there's so many people who say, oh, I can't sit down. I get too distracted. I will literally sit here at the desk. I will read out loud and my foot is just going like I'm Joey Jordison double basing, right? Both of my feet are just kicking away nonstop to get energy out. But I'm like, dude, I'm dedicated to this book. I'm going to do it. So yeah, I totally understand that. Foam battle axe. Yes, that's to clarify for everyone, government oversight. I meant a foam axe. There we go. Okay, so those are the shout outs. Those are my thoughts. And then finally, Bookmas 2023, guys. I'm all about that. I've got a stack of books down in the corner. Those are my Christmas gifts to people, and I'm super excited about that. So yeah, we've got enough TVs. We've got enough. Oh, the legend, Jesse Boggs. Let's go. What's up, dude? Dude, are you out fishing? Are you live? Are you watching me live while you're out on the boat fishing? That's what I want to know. This dude could catch anything. I swear, man. Yeah. So we have enough TVs. We have enough video games. We have enough headphones, iPods. Let's give some books away. Let's encourage people to get back into the reading habit. You know it. I do, man. I do. Hey, have you caught anything? Are you in a tournament right now? What's going on? So this dude, Jesse is by far one of the best technical sergeants I've ever met in the Air Force career. We met both of us were deployed to Qatar. And I remember we got to the point where every night after work, we would walk back to the dorms together because our dorm room was about over a mile, just about a mile away from where we had to arm up and turn in our weapons every night. And so Jesse and I would walk, and I was going through my professional development course, course 15. He was going through senior NCO course 14. And so what we started to do is we would talk with one another as we would walk because the material it matched up very well, but obviously it was a depth of understanding that was a little bit different or more in depth. And so almost every night we would talk together and just walk back to our rooms. And man, I learned so much from that dude. Like, Jesse, you are OG, man. You are absolutely the best. I got a dip driving to another city, but I'll hit you up later, buddy. All right, Richie, thanks for tuning in, my man. You stay safe out there, and thanks for everything. That is some dedication. Super fan, Jesse. Only learn from the best. Keep pushing, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. And that's what leadership is, right? Hey, I'm going to learn some stuff, and then I'm going to pass it on to the next person, try to get them better, try to share with them and teach them everything that I don't know. So absolutely, man. All right. So yeah, Bookmas, guys. If you're an author, you can't give away your own book. You have to buy other books, other authors' work, and you have to give those out for Christmas gifts. And then for anyone else, let's buy some books. Let's give them out. Let's gift them out this Christmas. Okay, guys. So those are all of the updates. Those are all of the updates, my thoughts for the week. What else do you guys want to talk about? Because if not, I've got to go pick up a book manuscript. I've got to drop it off to my development editor, and then I'm doing a resupply on some cigars. So what else do you guys want to know about? Oh, actually, while you guys type any final comments, let me go over to my email because I saw my email came in. Ooh, going over to focused. Jax Bailey, thank you so much for becoming a Patreon member. You are awesome. And also Erica as well. 2 new Patreons. Thank you so much. There's some surprises coming your way soon, but I hope you enjoy being a part of the community. I just posted last night, an image there, and that's what I felt like the dying breed is. It doesn't necessarily have to be about, one person or the other. It's a fact of the dying breed was started to remind us that we need to take a stand for what we believe in. We need to take a stand for what we feel is right. And it's supposed to be a warrior culture, whatever it is. So thank you so much for your support. I really hope you guys enjoy diving into the material, and be sure to check out that pinned video to know exactly how to get all the access to the stuff. Okay. John A. Douglas, I didn't realize my notifications for your channel weren't on. John, dude, it's okay. I forgive you. I still love you. I fixed that. I'll know when you go live next time. It's all good, man. I've given you like 2 shout outs, my man. Giving you 2 shout outs. Where do babies come from? Well, if you're in Project Kepler, there are some creatures who are manufactured in basically scientific centers and developed there. So just be glad you're not in Project Kepler's universe. Did I miss anything important? John, you missed all the great important things, man. You missed all the great important things, all of the universes, all of the thoughts. I'm trying to get over Ryan's comment right now. And of course, Erica's laughing at me because I don't know how to recover from that one. Where do babies come from? John or Ryan, I know you have kids, so I feel like you already have the answer to that question. Pretty sure you do. And you're also writing in Project Kepler, so you should know that. Yeah. Okay. What else do we got? But yeah, John, dude, that interview you did yesterday, that was spot on. What a great interview. I've definitely shared it on my Facebook. I've given you some shout outs here today because that was a great interview. So, all right. Well, again, for anyone else, Patreons, you guys, and our 2 new members, Erica and Jaxter Bailey, thank you so much. That means a lot. Feel free to message me there, one-on-one, whatever you want to know. I would not be here today doing all this stuff if it wasn't for you guys and all of your support. So I appreciate you guys so much. And with that, I don't see any other comments. So we'll be out. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. West Coast time for our live interview and AMA with Christopher Mix. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Be blessed. Why is it not working? Oh, no.